Two different federal appellate courts have lifted the injunction against the public charge rule. As of November 1st, you may recall that federal district judges in 5 different states actually blocked the Trump administration's public charge rule. This is coming out of the Department of Homeland Security. That prevented the rule from going into effect. Since that time, the cases have made their way up through the courts, and 2 different federal appellate courts have overturned those rulings, which would effectually lift the injunction. Now, this was coming out of the Ninth Circuit and the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. But here's the important key takeaway at this point. The rule is still blocked. Just because these 2 courts lifted the injunction, there are other courts where the injunction still stands, which has a nationwide effect. So the rule is still blocked from taking effect. Now, you may recall that this is called the inadmissibility on public charge grounds rule. Like we said, out of the Department of Homeland Security, there is still no update on the State Department's public charge rule. That remains blocked as well, more so on paperwork reasons than having a court action like in this instance. Now, this rule out of the Department of Homeland Security was supposed to take effect back in October, but thanks to a judge in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, there was an injunction against the rule, and that's the injunction that still stands, preventing this rule from going into effect nationwide. So this is not the end of the story, we are sure, on this public charge rule, at least for now, if this keeps making its way up through the appellate courts, and that district court in New York is in the Second Circuit. Now, if that makes its way up through the appeals court, we could see disagreement among the circuits. When that usually happens, that means that the Supreme Court is likely to consider taking this up itself. We will watch all of that. For now, just remember that the public charge rule is not in effect. The old rules from previous years are still on the books. There is no change. It is procedurally what is happening in different districts, and we will keep you posted should anything change. We link to some of those circuit and appeals court orders in the description below, and please make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date should this continue to make its way through the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in New York.